think I'm good. It says I'm live, so that's good. Um, okay, no one's here, right? But I think you'll notice. Uh, oh, you know what? Should I tweet this? All right. I mean, I don't know. Should I? Should I? It's all right. Well, we'll just tweet it because I got an hour and a half until I got like 80 minutes to stream. So so dumb, so dumb. All right. What am I doing here? Okay. What did I call this? What did I call this thing? Edit stream, htmx and prod. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, jeez, dude. I am struggling with this keyboard. All right. React. htmx in prod. Ooh, look at that. Dude, it's the oh, I gotta I gotta do this. Twitch.tv. Oh. Oh. All right, there we go. Um okay, I gotta retweet this. This is the most important thing. I got where's what's the stupid like what was it like Hugh Jackman, right? Robot movie, right? Uh what was it? Oh my gosh, why did I do complexity? Bro, why am I doing perplexity? Like it's cool and all. I don't know why I made it my default. Hold on. Oh my gosh. What was it? Like what did I just Okay. Oh, not divorce. I can't use this keyboard. Hugh Jackman robot movie. I honestly forgot what it's called. Oh, there we go. Okay. Real Steel. That's what it was called. Real Steel. Oh, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted, right? This is perfect. Um, all right. Okay. Okay, what was I doing? Right. So no one's here, so I'm just gonna code. If no one shows up, at least I've done some side project stuff, right? Oh my gosh, this is painful. This is painful. I don't even remember how to let's open this up. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's just make it a little smaller. Right? Did I pin it? Okay. All right. So I think I plus map to this. Okay. There we go. So maybe we'll just do something like this. Plus. Oh my gosh, that's equals. Wait, is this thing totally wrong? Wait, isn't this say equals? I'm so confused. Has it always been equals? That definitely says equals. Oh, you know what? It's probably Oh, I need to actually like do shift. Oh no. Nope. Okay, now it's saying equals. Equals is equals and plus is equals. Okay. I don't really understand this keyboard, I guess. All right. I have a since no one's here, right? I have a I have a really cool idea for this. Um so I think this is too much. Like I've gone too far, and no one's using this anyway except for me, so I should just make it for me. So my idea is like to go back to this, right? And we could just do something like this. So it's funny because like if you submit a HTML form, when you set the URL, it's set to action, right? Uh, and so, well, maybe I should just do the React thing while no one's here. Maybe no one will come, which is fine. Okay, let me see. Oh, there we go. So my idea is like to like split up routes and maybe I'll actually prepend async to all these functions. And then it'll feel more like there's no, what do they call that? What are we calling that? So then we could do something like this, right? Uh, Dude, I am so slow on this. Okay, so this is HTML, right? We're getting there though. We're getting there. And then we could just do this, right? Yeah, this would be sweet. There we go. And so here we would do something like this, right? And so there'd be like four things. There'd be three things: routes, which are like GET requests, um, and then there'd be uh, actions, right? Oh, also I'm in the left, and I can't actually see if everything's okay. Yeah, everything looks okay. All right, so then we'd have like actions, right? Like this. Action. And then we'd have something like this, like save post or something, right? Whoops. Where's underscore? Okay, it's right here. Save post. I gotta stop changing this layout. That's the problem, right? If you give me something that I can customize, I'll never stop customizing it. Okay, so then here we go, do something like this, right? Okay, and then you could do something like, the goal here, I think, for me is like to hide away, kind of like what Dioxis does, is to like hide away everything, but only make it for the web, right? Like I don't think I'm like encroaching on Dioxis's territory here. But I watched the Craig Johnston's video on making a reactive runtime, and I mean I definitely I it's like I can't unsee it. I saw the light, you know. So yeah, maybe it'll be like post, right? And that's it, right? And then we could dot dot dot, right? Whatever, right? We could just do to do, right? Can I do this correctly? Can I do this? There we go. Oh, jeez, this is painful. Which one's enter? Am I not hitting enter? Oh, I was not in insert. Oh my gosh. Everything, I'm just losing everything. All right, so then this one will be like component, right? And so here, the idea is that um, I just copy React server components. Load development right now. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conferences going on, and it's kind of like overloading. I want to use no project that interests me, nothing. That actually might be burnout, and you should just go do something else for a while. I mean, I've definitely been there, right? And I'm like always teetering on burnout. I haven't worked properly in 4 months. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's burnout, Merlinger. That's what it is. Um, Rust and Svelte, and now I can't go back to. But Rust and Svelte too hard. Uh, so everything. Yeah, look, I'm the same way. Like honestly, if I am not programming Rust, I'm kind of like, wow, it's crazy how like weirdly bad this is. Um, but yeah, I know what you mean. But that's definitely like I think you should use the thing that gets you to program, if that's what you want to do. But if you're totally burnt out, like the only solution is to stop, right? How do I motivate myself? Um, I kind of gotta make money. Yeah, yeah, you gotta make money. Yeah, I mean honestly, like I introduced React at work, um, so it's Rails and React now, and there's like a little bit of glue that I wrote in between, but yeah, I mean I can't say I'm like super excited about it, but yeah, the drive to make money definitely keeps me going. I got 1 month left before I need to go back to mediocrity. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I guess I view Rust as kind of like how I did Closure, which is like a new way to think about like programming. And you can take some of that stuff with you, right? Like, you can't take the errors as values, or you can. If you have your own section of your code base and, like, you're in control of all the functions, you can do errors as values in any language, right? Which is cool. But yeah, you can't take a lot of Rust stuff with you. Like cargo can't come with you, right? Rust analyzer. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Oh, you want to maximize productivity? I guess it depends on what you're making, right? If you're making web stuff, just do PHP and jQuery, right? Well, that's because you are doing the same things over and over, right? Slightly different variation. Well, that's what it is, though. That's exactly what it. That, that is what. That's what the human experience is, right? But yeah, no, you definitely are doing that. So let me see. Counter, right? What was I doing? Oh my gosh, counter, freaking. Oh, jeez. There we go. Counter. Oh, we're getting there though on this new one. What did I sign up for? People said, um, I don't want to do landing pages. Oh, yeah, landing pages. I definitely don't do that. I feel like landing pages. I feel like if I was doing content, I'd probably just use Astro. Astro seems pretty cool for content. Freaking A. What is this? There we go. Actually, let's not do to do. So this is my idea, right? Here, we'll actually not. Yeah, we'll do to do for now. So then we kind of just do something like this, right? Okay, and then we do like signal, right? Moonlander. Oh, it's not. No. Yeah. So I sent the kinesis back. Um, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I it was so bad. It actually like made my hand hurt. Like it actually made my right hand. I don't have RSI at all, right? Yeah, I mean, give it to him straight. Yeah, no, this isn't the Moonlander. This is ZSA and this is Oryx, right? But this is the I just dropped this actually, but it's still working fine. This is the oh, you can't even see it. This is the Voyager, right? Can I get this higher? There we go. So this is like one half of the Voyager, right? Um, yeah, yeah. Not in the mood for carpal tunnel right now. Yeah, seriously, like the kinesis is mid. Like, let's put it that way. Also, you open the kinesis, it's sad. Like, it's a sad experience. Like, you get the Voyager and you get boxes that look really cool like this, right? But the kinesis box, it's like a joke. Like, it's like I just transported back to Microsoft in the 1990s, you know? And I know some people are into that, but I'm not super excited about it, you know? I'm not the same as Prime. Like I can't do like his like what he does, you know? I don't know. I just I just have a different perspective. That looks crazy. Best keyboard. I won't go back to anything else. Hot swappable. Is it split? Is it split though? Dude, I should show. I wish I could show you my insane setup right now. Oh, it is split. Okay. No, I mean I'm pretty set on this. I'm pretty set on the Voyager. Um, but yeah. Uh, shop keyboard IO. All right, let's look at it. If I change my mind, well, I can at least look at it, right? Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Yeah, but the so yeah, I do like this, but yeah, I don't like MX. I don't like these keys. These like deep keys. I like the chalk. Like so this is the Apple keyboard, right? And see how it's like so thin? And then the Voyager too is like super thin. Can I take these? There we go. There we go. All right. So like it's like so thin, right? It's like super thin. And the keys are like they're like chalk keys, right? Or chalk switches, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's very similar, right, to the Mac, and that's kind of what I wanted. And I like that there's no key caps. The keycaps have no symbols, right? So I've just been like remapping like crazy. But yeah, I also like how there's only two thumb keys because I always thought the Kinesis 5 thumb keys, I wasn't even using them, right? So yeah, let me get these magnets back on here. Oh, there we go. I should really get like a keyboard cam because what I've done is pretty. I have this hanging off my desk like it's so stupid. Uh, dang it. I can't. Why is it always about Rails? Why we got to make it about Rails? You must be new here. I think I like that more, but you can't get back to something without Palm. Oh yeah, Palm plus Tab is mission control. Oh, I don't even use mission control though. Oh, Palm. Is Palm like a? I've since that was my end game keep. Oh, okay, derailer. um, yeah. I mean, this is cool. The Model 100. Yeah, this is. I mean, this is sweet, right? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like the Palm itself is a key, dude. This is wild. I like the wood though. The wood is really cool. But yeah, are these oh these are all column too, right? Not row like normal. Yeah, the only thing I really had to get used to with the split is B and Y. I would like always reach over to B with my right hand. It's really weird. I don't know why I did that. Finite, what's up? What's going on? What time is it? Oof. All right. I only got like 60 minutes. And I got a meeting. Uh, one of my most used keys now. Yeah. I mean, this is cool. This is really cool. I do like this. I also like how they're like weirdly rounded. Did they send you extra keycaps? Because I feel like you can't find these anywhere, right? Look at all these switches in that thing. This is for keyboard people right here. Look at all these switches. Yeah, I'm not like a keyboard like person. Oh, you can get more keycaps? Okay. Open source. Oh, you can print your own. That's pretty sick. Yeah. Oh, they even have like mouse control. Yeah. I got to get into the mouse thing because I also got this mouse, which is the Logitech something. I don't know what is this. What do you call this? What do you call this thing? MX vertical something, which is pretty cool. So I finally like abandoned the the thing, the trackpad, the whatever it's called, the magic trackpad. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I did want to go over this. And now that people are here, I should probably do it. Otherwise, I could just keep coding, but slowly with this keyboard. But I did want to go over this. I can unpin this, right? There we go. All right. I did want to talk about this. And I even said it's a React thing, right? It's React and it's htmx, right? But yeah, it's more like React as in React Andy, right? And also my hands are like this now, right? So my shoulders are like way back, which is kind of nice instead of like being hunched over. But yeah, let me see. How do I got to actually show this. Hold on. What do I have here? How do I increase do I just do this? No. Is it control? No. Left control? Dude, I want to zoom in on this, but I don't know how. Hold on. Is it this and then plus? No. Is it? No. Oh, it's probably because I wasn't on the window. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we don't need this anymore. Okay. What it's like to run htmx in prod. Stories from experienced software engineers, right? I saw this video of someone going over this and I thought, dang, that's weird. What a weird way to say all that stuff. So I thought, I'll just do it myself, you know? Oh, there's even a video. I don't know if it's better to react to a video or the blog post, but I guess we can go at our own pace. I'm going to speed run, right? Made my wrist worse. Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So let me see. HTMX is, this is so funny. HTMX is changing how modern web apps get built. This is so, I'm sorry. It provides most of the capabilities of a single page application with the simplicity of a multi-page application. This means you don't really need to reach for React, Vue, Angular, Svelte, Etsy to get a modern app. And in most cases, it's simpler not to. But all technologies make big promises and big splashes early in their hype cycle, while few survive the test of running in prod. In this post, we're going to survey the experiences of real devs running HTMX in prod to see if it works well or is just hype. Okay, developer responses were gathered from Reddit experienced devs to those that use HTMX in prod. How is it? Oh, this is actually a repo. Okay, let me just figure out how deep I am in the rabbit hole here, like in the content hole. So this is actually a Reddit post repackaged as a blog, and then I watched it from someone reacting to it as a video. We're deep in at this point. Okay, so themes in this post were created by Sifting Responses. Sifting. I don't know what that means. Organizing by theme. Oh, okay. Oh, sifting the responses to the thing. Condensing into learnings, takeaways. Okay. In the rest of this post, we'll explore these themes, the good and bad, what we can learn from them, and how this might affect your HTMX tech stack decisions in the future. Okay. Look at this. I love this chart. Like, I don't even know what this means. Multi-page app versus HTMX versus a single page app. Okay, so single page app is a high user experience and high complexity. I don't know about that. I don't know if I buy that. It's not really that complex, is it? And then HTMX is low complexity, high user or not as high, but close, I guess. Multi-page app is low. It's just sad. It's just sad. Okay, so let me see. Oh, this is from another thing. Okay. The good. htmx simplifies front-end code. The majority of responses praise htmx for vastly simplifying front-end code. This allows for faster changes, easier to onboard new developers. Front-end simplification, reduce layers of abstraction. From what I can see, htmx strips back a lot of the layers of nonsense that was going on before. We do have some JavaScript, but we use it mostly for the original intent of little bits of interactivity that doesn't need to touch the server, like flipping on dark mode. Okay. I know I was going to speed run this, but honestly, I do think that like I don't know if we've kept up with HTML, but there's a details thing that's like a drop down, right? And there's also a what am I doing? Sorry, hold on. Gotta check work real quick. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. There's also a dialogue element that gives you a modal that's like completely declarative if you want it to be for like simple modals. But I don't know why you would not make a simple modal, I guess. So yeah, we got modals and we got drop downs all with HTML, no JavaScript necessary. And I've seen so many like React blog posts because I've been like using React at work again. Where they're like talking about modals. Like, I'm just like, why would you put that in the state? Like, that's so weird. Don't do that. The only thing that I think React did give me that would be annoying with jQuery is I had this like really interactive active search thing. So it's like a search bar, but also like a combo box, I guess. I don't know what you call it. And it was quite a bit easier with React than with jQuery. Yeah. But yeah, there is like, I mean, I could have done the same thing with Alpine or something too, or jQuery. I feel this strongly. A lot of the work in full stack CRUD apps is simply piping data from database backend front end. That is correct. Database backend logic, JSON, front end logic, HTML. MPA HTMX, database backend logic, HTML. Yeah. The MPA route is simpler. It has 3 steps instead of 5. HTMX gets you most of the SPA experience with the simplicity of a multi-page app. Front-end simplification. Wait, what is this? Is this the category? I'm just going to skip that. Node.js needed. Most of our apps have 0 JavaScript outside of the HTMX page now. In all of our apps that I've done so far, there's no need to have any JavaScript, even jQuery on our pages, if we can just post back and get the out-of-band updates that we need. It's funny, like out-of-band updates for HTMX, I think that's really actually quite complicated. I think it's like really hard to understand and it feels like bolted on. I don't know. The way I view it is like, who cares if you litter your page with IDs? It's better to do that. And just replace all IDs that you need. Also, I don't, I'm kind of like this idea of, I think the React people had it right with JSX and a client-side router. But I think the client-side router should just fall back to the server-side router, right? And if you have a client-side route, you should perform like client-side changes through the route, just like you would with HTMX. And then you won't have to have like state anymore, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really thought it through, but when you really think about what makes single page apps feel modern, it's mostly that they feel fast, and that's largely due to targeted partial page re-renders. That's a mouthful. SPAs do this in all sorts of ways, but generally via heavyweight state DOM mapping. When the state changes, they figure out what parts of the DOM are effective and just re-render those. HTMX allows the same thing, but without the state portion, so you basically get the same functionality, but in a much lighter weight form. And this means you don't need to worry about that intermediate client-side state logic step and can build with much less JS. This means you don't need to worry about the intermediate client-side state logic step and can build. Okay, yeah. I've been using it recently for some internal-facing apps, and I'm really happy with it. No concern for scaling due to the nature of the apps, but it's super simple to get up and running quickly. No concern for scaling due to the nature of the apps. Is it? I wonder. I wonder even at Facebook scale, because like hardware's so fast. I wonder even at Facebook scale if like rendering on the client is like really saving them all that much versus rendering HTML on the server. I always wonder that. I don't know. People throw this like scaling thing in, latency. They throw everything in there, right? I don't know. It's weird. Because the front end is simplified, making changes is quite fast. You can essentially just build a multi-page app and sprinkle in dynamic renders with htmx where useful. Yes, exactly. That is true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what htmx is for, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm actually more into like, not unpoly, but like I'm more into like Alpine Ajax, right? Oh my gosh, I can't even like see that. I can't even do this. It's terrible. There we go. Yeah, so like this is more like what I'm into, right? Is like you could do like debound stuff, and then you target things based on IDs, but you don't have to put the hash in front. So it's easier to make your routes statically typed because they're just the string of the name of the thing. And you get all of Alpine stuff instead of like strange hyperscript strings in your stuff. Because this looks more declarative, right? Personally, but yeah, whatever. Oops, did someone say something? Oh no. Easier to onboard new developers. I'll answer how it scales for a small team, in my opinion, where I work. I use it in production apps at work. I will say that one of the best parts of it is that when a feature request, bug fix, or enhancement comes in, pretty much anyone can pick it up. I've built Angular apps and and React apps, and unfortunately, even making text changes in those systems can be too difficult for a junior developer to make the change if they've never worked in that environment before. And forget about complicated logic changes. I mean, this all depends on like how you do it, right? Front end code has gotten so complex that many orgs now have specialized positions, front end and back end. In practice, this means that it's very hard for any one developer to get a full stack change out. Short term, this means that all changes incur extra cost due to context switching and collaboration overhead between front end, back end dev. I mean, I'm working on the I'm working on React and Rails at work. I mean, is that not considered full stack or whatever anymore, right? Full stack change, right? I mean, I don't know. We're just like web people, right? Shouldn't we like do all the web stuff? Is that not right? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to like have native people and like web people, right? Like, who cares if it's React or whatever? I don't see how it's more complex. Long term, this means a general architectural bias against doing things full stack. Both sides will go to great lengths to not have to do things. I mean, this is a totally like made up summary of like one person can't do React and the server. I mean, the server is so simple now. Like it's just like JSON endpoints and CRUD. Like I even said endpoints. I'm even talking like them. I've been like React build, and now I'm saying endpoints. So stupid. Both sides will go to great lengths not to do things full stack, which often leads to suboptimal architectures throughout. This is how we get heavyweight client state management, interesting RPC protocols, and the push towards JS only stacks. Next, Nux, SvelteKit, all methods to try and lower the pain of front end, back end communication. I mean, I will say that the React server component thing is interesting. I watched Kent Dodd's talk on that. Maybe I'll go over that after this because I thought that was really cool. I'll get two YouTube videos for the price of one. For most orgs, they just want to build, so choosing technologies that are so simple, anyone can make a change, likely leads to velocity and business velocity and business benefits. HTMX allows devs to be full stack. Backend people, yeah, this would be hilarious. Honestly, I think it would be so funny if this is all due to interest rates. Like that's a weird conspiracy, okay? And it feels like a tangent, but just let me cook for a second, all right? Like what if, okay, React was a zero interest rate phenomenon, okay? And HTMX is when times are hard, okay? Web developers, they just have to do more. And so we reach for things like HTMX, but if the interest rates go down, then we all go back to using React. No, I know. It's such an American view of the world. It has nothing to do with that, I don't think. For most orgs, they just want to build. So they just want to build. So choosing choosing technologies that are so simple, anyone can make a change. Likely leads to velocity. Oh, I already read that. But honestly, this if you want to choose simple stuff, and you want people to make changes that aren't devs, you should use CMS or like WordPress, right? Am I crazy? I mean, there's three different types of websites. There's like content, which they should just be static HTML, right? And then there's like hypermedia apps, which is like that's HTMX, Alpine Ajax, Unpoly, Intercooler, PJAX, right? That's like hypermedia, right? And there's like three different levels of interactivity too, right? And then the third is like the web app, right? I'm talking like PWA, service worker, like spa, right? Things that work offline, online. They're supposed to be like native apps, right? And so it's supposed to feel like when you touch a button, like or whatever, things happen instantly, or as many things that don't require a server happen as instantly as possible. And so I don't know, maybe they're just three different types of things, right? And now we're in an environment where we don't care to make web apps as much, right? Or as interactive. So we'll just fall back to hypermedia, right? HTMX allows devs to be full stack. I will say that I think React does too, right? Backend people do front end people to do backend. HTMX is often more performant than single page applications. Lets us ship 90% of our page from CDNs, and then the HTMX talks to servers. Unlike how JS server side works, we have a custom CDN server that is designed on top of, I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. So we like serving as many chunks of static content out of that as we can, since it's well over 10x higher throughput and 50 times lower latency. I'm so confused by this light matter 501 person. I'm super confused. I don't understand what that means. I think they just mean like they're trying to reduce latency. One of the biggest complaints against HTMX is that it won't be performant. You're using a network call for every piece of page interactivity. This is hard to read. Like this is a lot of words. I don't know if this was like GPT written or not. That is a fair point. Network calls are much more expensive than local calls, but in practice, this isn't really a problem. Now, if you naively use HTMX for everything, then yes, it can be bad, as we'll talk about later. But if you use it reasonably, then it's mostly the same or better than SPAs. Server interactivity. HTMX is great. This is anything that needs data from the server, submitting, sorting, refreshing, whatever. HTMX feels like interactive islands. Honestly, like Leptos Islands, like it's like the best of both worlds to me because it automatically uses those data attributes to do that stuff, and like you're on the same thing. Did we just become best friends? Yep. Rexace, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Also, I hate web dev too. Okay, but here we are. Okay, the web has become my career. All right, I don't know what to tell you. I would love to make games, but it feels like a starving artist kind of thing, you know? All right, let me do this, and then we'll get to that. Okay, so but thank you again. Web dev, it's not good. This is anything that needs data from the server, submitting, sorting, blah blah blah. Client use something else. This is anything that does not need data from the server. Light versus dark mode toggling a pop-up. But that's what I was talking about, like dialogue. We had the dialogue thing. Like these are the examples. They're totally solved. Like you don't even need JavaScript. Just have the person, when it's in light mode, just use CSS for light mode. I don't understand that. This is CSS and this is HTML, right? Like this is the dialogue element. Like that's what it is. I'm so confused. Um, for server interactivity, and if you could style uh regular old tooltips like HTML like ones that where you like hover and like a little thing is but JavaScript, yeah. For server interactivity, htmx does less work than client-side frameworks. Client-side frameworks need to do the same network request plus their own internal processing to render. htmx simply does the request and plops it on the page. It does plop it on the page. And I think React, it was in a world where like DOM parser didn't exist, right? So they wanted this thing, right? Oh my gosh, I just refreshed it. DOM parser is like, I mean, oh my gosh, why am I using Perplexity? Dude, why am I doing this to myself? Can we get to there it is. It provides the ability to parse HTML. So like this solves a lot of the problems I think that we had with React. If light mode equals true, fetch dark mode. Jeez. Jeez. Just opposite. The only case where HTMX does more work is for client-only changes, in which case maybe don't use HTMX for that. Just use JS or low JS like Alpine. Now I'll be honest and say that this poster stack seems a bit over-engineered. You don't need custom. Oh, I was saying that, right? If you use as a source of application state, regular caching works super well. But in most cases, you won't even need it because it'll be faster than your spa anyway. What kind of like things are people doing with a single pet? That's crazy. Like that shouldn't be the case, but I think they mean like when you do a network request, right? I think that's what they're talking about. Easy to add to existing projects. I've just introduced it where I work. All our most recent projects were exclusively using static templating with Go. So HTMX was the easier sell to add a more spa-like UX than having another protracted argument with the architects about the pros and cons of JS frameworks. The best thing from our perspective, it is opt-in, so we didn't need to change anything about our processes and could just adopt it as and when. Yeah, I think if all you know is React and you're like, oh, we need to hire people and it needs to be React, always with the architects. Like, I mean, I think signals and like stuff like solid, but not even JavaScript, like Leptos, Dioxys. I mean, it's so good. Like they're so good now. Like I don't know why you don't have to use JavaScript. One of the hardest parts about adopting new technologies is that many are contagious. This means that it requires lots of changes in many parts of your code to use them. Async code, blah, blah, blah. Going from MPA to SPA, for example, would require you to set up all the build steps for the particular SPA. Isn't this just ES build though? Like, I mean, at work, I just did ES build. Figure out how to serve it and then get it to talk to your existing code. Yeah, that was like an hour or two for me. I don't know. Is that complicated? Often it's easier to simply build a whole new SPA app, which is why so many stacks are dual monoliths. One front end, one back end. Dang, this is craziness. HTMX takes a different approach to just browser-based JS libraries, so you can simply download it onto a page and start using it. Imagine. Could you imagine? Rails. Yeah, just Rails. At what point do we realize that web dev is constantly dealing with the consequences of self-inflicted wounds? I think we're at that point, right? That's the point we're at. This allows for gradual adoption, so you can try it out with minimal costs, blah, blah, blah. Technologies with these attributes are typically easier to compose and thus more maintainable over time. Library versus framework arg and all that. Bad. HTMX lacks a paved road. Got an additional question, but that makes sense because if it comes from Montana, aren't most of the roads unpaved? So like in Carson Gross's mind, like it's normal, right? Why would you want a paved road? Just take your 4-wheel drive vehicle onto the dirt road. Like, what's the problem? Got an additional question. I do think HTMX can replace a lot of the React cases, where I still see myself using React is for component libraries. Shad, Martine, I don't know what that is. Ant D, I found those to be a major productivity gain in smallish team. No design system, Etsy. HTMX apps are very similar to MP. Wouldn't you just use Tailwind though? I guess like Shad is using Tailwind, right? So there's lots of tech that just works out of the box. The problem generally is that spas have held majority mindshare for the past decade, and thus general knowledge of these techniques and modern mainstream convenience libraries are not as prevalent as React, Vue, Angular. The good thing is all your favorite React, Vue, Angular, Svelte libs mandatorily render down to vanilla HTML. I'm so confused by these statements because that's what the browser understands. This means that there's nothing preventing these things from coming to low.js land, but it will take some work unwinding these things from their heavy build states. Heavy build states. If you want ready to use, heavily customized styles, then it might be more work to try and move to htmx. It's interesting. It's interesting. Like, what's wrong with Tailwind, I guess, right? Oh, there it is. Personally, I found success with Tailwind for base styles. Daisy UI, don't do it. I'll bundle in my ASP.NET build step. Shoot, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Don't do it. Don't go to the dark side, you know? ASP.NET. Man, it's like I'm living in the past. Build my own styled components. Course interactive islands. Who said interactive islands? .NET not bad? Dude, Microsoft is pure evil. Give me XML views over Tailwind. We just need some XLST. We need to transform or is it XSLT? I forget what it is. We need to transform the XML into new XML. I hope we get to speak about the new stuff. The .NET new stuff? Dude, I'll just stick to Rust. More generally, it'll take some time to get back to large MPA htmx mindshare in terms of convenience libraries and guides. But given the sustained... Wait, hold on a second. In terms of convenience libraries and guides... Are you serious right now? Dude, are you serious? Like, oh wait, I even have the code. Look, have you not heard of Ride? Has no one heard of Ride? Like, look, this looks like React, but it's on the server. Dude, function components, right? Come on now. Routing, we got it all. Okay, we got everything. Razor pages. Razor. Right. Okay, all right. XSLT. Yeah, that's what we need. We need some of that. Who rides like that? Everyone should ride like that. HTMX is not a silver bullet. Is that a con, or is that just the reality of everything, right? The kiosks also have to operate with less than favorable network conditions. This is like exactly what HTMX is not designed for. But the team in question have bitten the JavaScript. If you have a kiosk, why don't you just run like a native app on that bad boy, right? Why would you have a whole OS and then run a browser just to have it display something in a kiosk, right? Am I crazy? I guess I am crazy. Have bitten the JavaScript bad meme. I'm watching the project gradually disintegrate. HTMX is very good at making modern web apps simply, but it's not a silver bullet. If you are building something that needs to work offline, aka not a web app, or that needs very low latency, client-only changes like a video game, then HTMX is probably not the best choice. Imagine. Does HTMX scale for large teams / code bases? Yes. Overall, HTMX seems to make it very simple to build modern web apps. We've seen lots of success stories from small teams in small, medium code bases. The question is whether this scales to large enterprise teams and code bases. It does. The challenges there are often different. Maintainability, testing, type checking, convenience, human scale, preventing human errors, easy onboarding. Related, why type-safe programming languages are better than dynamic and lead to faster, safer software at scale. Okay. What does that have to do with this? My main concern is that here we go. My main concern is with HTMX, there's still a bit of raw string logic. This is my next band name, Raw String Logic. That's what it's going to be, all right? Like, that's my next thing. XLST, like Excel-based hosting? Yes. Yes. Is it XSLT? Is that what it is? I honestly forgot what it was. Extensibles? That's what it is. XSLT. And there was another one too. I forgot what it was. It was something else, right? XSLT... Extensible style sheet language transformations, right? Amazing. What a terrible time to be in development, in any kind of development. All right. We're building front ends connected to back ends based on raw string URL paths with logic embedded in markup via raw strings. Dude, you don't raw dog those strings, okay? You are not gonna bring these raw strings into this, all right? The strings they've been used so much they're raw, okay? It's not good. Like, we need some better strings. We need some fresh strings in here. We don't need raw strings. We need to cook our strings. Okay, the strings need to be cooked. You can't use raw strings. The load-bearing raw string URL. This is so good. This is such a weird, what a weird world that we live in. Exists in all apps, but the raw logic. I love this word raw. Like, it's usually constrained. This signals to me that there's a risk this stuff gets brittle when we have dozens of devs changing it each week without tests, type checks, or convenience libraries to hide it. Oh my goodness, dude, the raw strings. This guy likes it raw. He likes the strings raw, you know? I thought of XLTX. Oh, maybe that was it. Totally a skill issue. Yes, I was going to say that. Like, totally a skill issue, but at scale, our code approaches the lowest common skill. So something you need to worry about. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think this is wrong. Like, because we have code review. I think that's wrong. Also, like, you can easily, like, okay. I don't want to keep going back to ride, but it's easy to make functions that take static arguments that return URLs. Am I crazy? Like, am I insane? Like, is static routing that hard? Like, I'm so confused. I don't have an answer to this yet. We'll get there though. Oh, we'll likely need to wait a while for enterprises to onboard and run it in prod for a good 6 to 12 months before we hear back. Shoot, that's going to be a while. Next. Overall, I'm a huge fan of the Low.js movement. I've built most of my apps in 2024 with htmx. It's been great. Simpler, raw strings, faster, modern web development. Total insanity. I plan to keep building with this entire architectural philosophy till a better one comes around. See the ham stack. I love ham. Delicious. A simple, scalable for building modern web apps. Hypermedia, htmx, and Alpine on a. How are you gonna do this? Is the ham? Hypermedia on a modulith? Dude, what in the world? Wouldn't this just be htmx, Alpine, and a monolith, right? F#/giraffe. Shoot, this guy's deep in it. What's your experience building and running htmx apps in production? What are the biggest pros, cons you've seen? If you like this post, you might also like, okay. Oh, that's the whole thing. My experience building and running htmx apps in prod, which is my whole career. What are the biggest pros, cons? I've definitely seen companies get started and never care about making a better user experience because the customers didn't care. And also they had customers, right? That's probably the most important thing is like, do the customers care if your React app is like linear or superhuman, right? If you're building for, it depends. Like, what do you, okay, oh, geez, what's happening? Oh my gosh, Oki Labs, what's up? Thanks for the raid. It makes you a better C-sharper. F# mentioned raw ham. We got raw ham. Oki Labs, I appreciate it. For when you want to be as unemployable as humanly possible. I love the raid pop-up. Oki Labs, we got it all. Okay, we got everything you could ever want. Yeah, so F#, like, definitely not in use ever anywhere. But yeah, I do. So I should wrap this up, right? I shouldn't like get derailed, because I'm trying to make YouTube videos and we're trying to grow. We're trying to grow the channel. Okay, we're trying to grow this Twitch stream. All right, together, all of us. So HTMX, like my whole career has basically been like using HTMX style stuff. And it really just depends on like, who are you making your web thing for? If you're making it for devs, like picky Theo type devs, right? And like they want linear or superhuman, you should use React, right? Just use it because they'll be like, oh, it uses React. I should buy this, right? If you're building for people who don't care about technology at all, and you just need to ship fast, use Hypermedia, right? First of all, just use a multi-page app. And then if they complain that it sucks, then just start with Hypermedia and you'll be good to go, right? So like it just depends who you're making it for. But in my experience, I don't make things for devs. I make things for like advertisers. I make things for insurance people. How do you say that? I make things for finance people. So like, yeah, they don't care. Like just show the data. Like it's all about the data, right? At the end of the day. That's it. That's the whole thing. The name, no. All right. Cool. HTMX is quite nice. Yeah, we're gonna grow it. Raw Ruby derailed. For people who actually have a life and want to get things done, basically, insuromancers. Majority of the world outside of devs don't really care between React, Vue, or whatever. They don't. And I think we get lost with this. Like we get lost in the sauce, you know. Let's not get lost in the sauce. Let's keep a straight head on, you know, and we'll just consider the person who's using your thing, right? And that's it. That's all you need to consider, right? It's like if someone is at the other end of your app and they're a dev, then yeah, it's got to be React. Saucing the customer. Yeah, we need to sauce the customer. It's true. I don't know what this means, but yes, we definitely need to sauce the customer. It's good. All right. Can you sauce? We got open sauce. We got sauce. Make it a nice experience. Make sure the client doesn't feel like they're losing money. Solve a real problem and you're set. Exactly. All right. So I'm like awkwardly at this time where I have like 10 minutes before I have a meeting. So I'm not like quite sure what I'm going to do now. I just don't know what to do with the stream at this point. So maybe we'll just look at code. What kind of sauce? Yeah. Don't get lost in it. Yeah. You want to make it nice. Don't like make it crappy, right? Don't make it like terrible. Yeah. All right. I'll see you. See you later. Thanks for the raid. Yeah, this is pretty, it was an okay article. I don't know. It was okay. What do I really want to talk about though? Oh, maybe I should try to go over the Kent Dodds thing from htmx con, right? That would be great. I have this video up, but honestly, like why do I have this video up? I don't know. It has nothing to do with me. Let's see. Let's just go to YouTube. Do I have it on here? I don't think I have it on here. What am I doing? Oh, Montana programmers. That's what I'm doing. Dude, I had like a freak out for a second there. Where was it? Oh, Mind the Gap. That's what it is. Mind the Gap. Oh my gosh, it's 30 minutes. I'd have to speed run it. We only have 10. We only have 15. J Blow, my beloved. I mean, we could watch that, I guess. We'll watch it until oh, you know what? Unless you guys want to talk about did I just dox myself? Oh yeah, I did. Every time. I just wanted to click. What's up? Oh, Lavastaros, what's up? What's going on? Unless you guys want to talk about Apple Intelligence. Can I pronounce Hitmol? Yeah, I can pronounce it. No problem. No problem. We can do it. The S is silent. It's easy. But yeah, we can talk about Kent Dodds, but honestly, it's just more web stuff. So yeah, maybe we will watch that Jonathan Blow video, right? Where's Shift? Is this it?
The answer is that C++ is a
okay,
really...
Maybe we'll watch this for like 15 minutes. I think it is 15 minutes long. Apples have never been intelligent. Not until now, right? I should have raided you instead of just closing my stream. Oh no. You gotta raid. I honestly don't raid either. It's sad. All right, let's turn off the admittedly terrible music, and we'll we'll do this instead. Oh, there's an error. What? Oh, yeah, whatever. All right. Okay, let's listen to this. Jonathan Blow on why C++ is bad for games. Is a bad language for games, right? There we go. Can we show this above my head maybe? There we go. All right. Let's make this thing large at least, or like maybe full screen. Maybe we'll full screen it, you know? Maybe we'll go hard. C++ is bad, period. I had 3 viewers. Hey.
The answer is that C++ is a really terrible, terrible language. So it would really help us to get off it as quickly as we can. But here's the funny thing, right? Despite the fact that it's such a terrible language,
is that funny?
Games use it. You know, if you talk about lower end games,
language.
you know, there's games obviously in browsers or that use C# or something. But the highest performance games that render the most impressive things and have the most complex simulations all use C++ still. It's the year 2018, right? C++.
It's the year of our Lord. 2018. This video is 6 years old. I love it. You could tell when I watch a Jonathan Blow video, you could tell how old it is based on how much hair he still has, right? Like if the hair is going backwards, then you're going backward. But if it's going forwards and you keep watching Jonathan Blow videos, then it's like, oh, you're going back forwards in time. 2008 was the year of Linux desktop. It's true. Get off it as quickly as we can. Thanks,
Plus is
Blow.
from the 1980s. It's been modified a little bit, but the idea for the language was come up with in the 1980s. So why do we still use it? And the answer is because despite as terrible as it is, it still does something right
like
that's
Fabio.
very basic that almost every other language that's been made since then
I never
actually
look like
gets
Fabio,
wrong.
so my hair's always been like terrible.
So I'm going to talk about
high hairline.
some wrong ideas that
head.
have been happening for the past few decades.
All right.
There
we go.
I'm going to start with maybe what is the most basic one.
Dude, I also like the I like this mic. Whenever I see conference speakers and they have this like little tiny boom mic, I'm like, do I need that? Do I need that thing?
This is an attitude that I think came out of academic circles, but it's percolated through.
Oh no! What in the world?
Idea about what should a language help you do?
My HDMI cable just totally shorted.
Be a more.
Let's rewind.
Okay, what should a language help you do? It should help you be a more powerful and
terrible. Oh shoot! It's really happening. Oh, you know what? It's probably this. It's probably this
kind of idea that's like.
Hang on. My capture card is freaking out. Oh, maybe it's like, it's like really hot. My capture card is super hot. Okay, let's try it again.
Powerful and expressive programmer who can get more things done quickly and they work better.
Sir rejected ads.
How do you do that? Well, there's some kind of idea.
Oh shoot, dude. No, it's definitely my my cable. I gotta get a better one. It's my capture card is like ridiculously hot. It's like over. No wonder I can only stream for an hour, dude. It is for all right. That's all right. We'll just keep going. We'll see. Maybe it's because it's full. Maybe it can't do it.
The language lets you express higher and higher level things.
Should have written in C++.
We don't care about like implementation details, like where memory comes from, or how
NZXT.
much time things take, really, except in very broad scope algorithmic measurements.
We've got Blow on it
because implementation details
Jonathan Blow
are complicated
to
think about, and they slow you down. And if you didn't have to think about those implementation details, that's much less work to do, and you're more productive.
Ooh.
So the idea here is that somehow the job of a programming language is to put you in some kind of magical space where you're just programming with magic and clouds and daydreams. And stuff like managing memories or managing memory, you don't think about like what your data structures even look like. You don't need to know
Rust.
And all that stuff.
He's talking about Rust.
And the way that I've stated this, it's obviously making fun of the idea a little bit. But this idea, I think, underlies most programming language designs from the past few decades. and it's wrong.
Oh.
Um,
Uh-oh.
but
For games,
despite the
though.
fact that it's wrong, there's been some success with it.
If he mentions his own language,
You know, starting in the
I'm gonna laugh so
1990s, I
hard.
chose the year 1991 a little bit arbitrarily, but sometime in the 1990s, we started having this trend of a whole bunch of interpreted languages happening. So like Perl and Python and all these things.
Wait, we gotta speed it up a little bit.
Because the idea was
Because my
like,
meeting's
hey,
in
we want to make things that are high
13
level.
minutes.
C is like a low level compiled thing. Interpreted languages like Lisp are high level, so we're going to do things like that. And you know what? Computers are fast enough that it's not going to matter. You're just going to run your script and it's fine. It's just going to run interactively fast and nobody will care what language it's in.
Oh, he's talking
But
about
because
JIT
our language is going to have
and
all these
JavaScript.
high level features, it's going to
Jai
make
will
you a
never
more
be
productive and
released.
powerful programmer. So that was the idea, and it actually sort of succeeded for a while, right? But it caused a problem because, well, let me go back and talk about another kind of language for a second, right? So one kind was the scripting language,
Perl
and
is
another
a
kind
camel
is
with a
what
single hump.
Microsoft has since then called the managed languages. You know, is maybe starts with things like Java, and has since proceeded to things like C# and whatnot, where you know, it's supposedly a compiled language, but you have a very heavy runtime that imposes performance costs. You know, maybe it's garbage collected or something, but it also has a lot of opinions about what your program is allowed to do and about what implementation details of the machine it's allowed to play with, right? So those are sort of the two major categories of things. And something happened where, you know, all these languages got made, and they actually do have higher level features that help you do things faster, right? They also are pretty slow languages. And because these things have been correlated again and again in these examples that we've seen over the years, many or most people, I would say, believe, or maybe not even believe, but just in their mind, there's this conflation between languages being slow or giving you a lack of control over what's happening, and those languages being powerful and expressive and giving you high-level ability to manipulate things. And that's not actually true.
Yeah, we just need
those
blow.
two things
We
are
don't need
actually
slides.
mostly orthogonal. So
Just
for
blow.
example, you can have a language with most of the features of C#,
A weird conference.
but that's as low level as C at the
videographer.
same time.
So strange.
It's just nobody's really made that, and so we've never seen that example,
We
and
can't
so
see
our
the
brains
slide.
don't really understand it.
Mid no
right?
slides. What?
Here's
What do we
another
do?
idea that's
Oh, here
wrong
we go.
that most of the world labors under. And I'm sort of thinking of it as climbing to heaven part 2. There's some weird idea that more layers of software is a good thing, right? So like somebody makes some code like in a library that does some job, and then I'm going to make my library that's like a wrapper around their library, and it's mostly just going to call their stuff, but I'm going to add like 10% on the side, right? And now you can use my library instead of their library, and then somebody else comes along and adds like another 10%,
Oh,
right?
maybe they are.
And you start stacking these libraries enough, and then that's not
Has
even
a
enough.
Razor
So like now
laptop.
let's make a program that
Just
uses
like
all
a
these
C#
libraries,
did.
but like the program itself will not really do the whole job. It'll like talk to other programs on the same computer over like local sockets to do the rest of the job, and each of those programs will have all its libraries, right? And the idea that people have is like you stack up these layers of code and
Isn't
it
that
gives you
good, though?
something better and better, right?
Oh my gosh, my capture card just cannot handle
you get
it.
in that case is not really better and better. It's actually worse and worse, right? Because the stack is not a well-constructed thing. It's like wobbly, right? And if you try to climb up on it, it's going to just like fall over and dump you on the floor, right? So the more layers of software you have, right, the more software you have, the harder it is to understand, the harder it is to be clear about what the interactions are between all the layers for you as someone who wants to debug or modify this, but also for the people who wrote it originally, right? So these layers don't generally couple together perfectly.
I think it
They're
is.
sloppy, right? They move. There's lots of times when you're not sure what's really going on,
What
and
about,
those
like,
are
C to
magnified
assembly?
as you have more and
I
more
mean, we don't
layers.
write assembly
And then
code,
also, of
right?
course, more layers take longer to compile and all those usual
Oh, he's saying there's like diminishing
problems.
returns. Is that what he's saying?
There's a lot of other weird assumptions. This one isn't exactly about language semantics anymore, but people have this idea that in the modern world,
Oh
if
my
you're
gosh,
going to
it's
program,
me.
you need
It's
this
me.
complicated, slow, buggy thing called an integrated development environment, like Visual Studio or Xcode, that gets between you and the act of programming, right? So like you can't like program without this thing.
I thought he
The
wanted,
job
I
of
thought
which
he
is,
liked
I don't even
IDEs.
know what the job is, right? Because it's like it's not exactly the debugger. The
Static
debugger is a separate
Hermes?
thing, but like it
How do you
lives
say it?
there.
Is it
It's not
Hermes?
really the
Hermes?
editor because you can use a separate editor. It's like the thing that knows what files are in the project or something. It's a weird
Still JavaScript, though.
Frankenstein's beast. Actually, the main job of which is to
Hermes?
make up for the fact that a lot
Sounds
of
sus.
languages are underspecified, and I'll say exactly what that means soon.
It depends
But
if you're
people have
good
this
or not.
idea that you need this thing. And in fact, I think the value of this thing is very close to zero, or it's actually negative
Well, I
because
thought
it
he was
gets
an
in your
IDE
way
person.
so much. The actual value is in the debugger and the editor, right? The IDE is just a giant piece of junk.
Yes,
In my opinion.
we agree.
People also have another weird idea that a programming
Like
language
herpes?
should be
Wait,
like
why
a
would you pause? Why am I pausing? I only have 8 minutes. I can't pause.
grand ecosystem. And if you're going to come up and start
Unpause?
using it, then you're entering the
I did,
ecosystem
I
and you get to
unpaused.
learn about all these crazy things. Not even just about languages,
JS, except
actually.
it's not JS.
Anything now. So I was at the GDC this year, and I was in the presentation about the Vulkan graphics API, right? And the guy puts
Vulkan.
up this slide, multiple slides actually, talking about the Vulkan ecosystem, and he has all these boxes with lines between them, and there's like, funny names of what all these like
getting
different things are
attacked
in the
here.
boxes, and I'm just like, oh my god!
Not up
like,
to date
you
with
just
the
killed
lingo?
all enthusiasm I had for learning about this thing. I don't want to learn an ecosystem for a year. I want to just put 3D graphics on the screen, right? So like actually if somebody is making a system that's good for you to use, it's as simple as it can be while enabling you to do the job. It doesn't force you to like learn all sorts of obtuse stuff in order to do a job. But somehow people are stuck in this mindset that that is what it's supposed to be. You know, it's like when you have a division of a company or a government, and it used to have a real job, but now its job is to perpetuate itself and make itself bigger, right? That's like what all software projects are now.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
really sad.
Software's pyramid scheme
So we're getting
mentioned.
to smaller and smaller points here, but one common one that maybe C++ programmers are much more familiar with,
Like I said, CS.
there's all these people saying, if you're going to be a good programmer in these languages, you should use this thing called RAII, right? Or in some other languages like Swift or
I
something
haven't
like,
tried
use
Jai.
ARC, automated reference counting, because it takes care of your memory for you and all that.
Arc?
And that makes you a good programmer, and you don't have to think about these details, and you have fewer bugs, and you have more memory safety and all that. And it's like, okay, you could do that stuff, but the cost is actually tremendous, right? When you do that stuff, your program ends up 100 times slower than it should be, maybe more. And people who are proponents of these techniques will get very upset as soon as I say that, because they're like, no, RAII, like the constructor, destructor, they inline, they don't generate that many instructions, like the reference count for ARC is just, that can get optimized out a lot of the time, and even when it doesn't, it's small. But that's beside the point, because the problem isn't the instructions that are generated at all. The problem is not the actual code. The problem is that conceptually, when you program in this way,
He's saying
you are thinking about the things in your program as a bunch of tiny little isolated units
5 minutes.
that live in random places on the heap. Because like if you've got a reference count and it's going to go to 0, what happens? Well, it gets freed. What does that mean it gets freed? Well, just somewhere on the heap is now available for other memory to go. Well, what does that mean? Well, when you're navigating these data structures, then they're scattered across the heap. And what does that mean? It means you're going to miss the cache a lot, right? So the difference in performance between an L1 cache hit and a miss that goes all the way out to main memory is a lot more than 100 times, actually. It's several hundreds on most modern CPUs.
Shoot.
So saying that your software is only going to be 100 times slower if you do these things is kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt that you like worked in some other optimizations along the way.
Dang.
But it doesn't just make your code slower, it makes it harder to understand, right? Like, a lot of the times there are things associated with the destruction of a resource that are important for program correctness. Like, I need to know when this file is closed, because the next step of my program can't validly happen until I know that that's true. If you start hiding things like that inside, like, well, we reference counted this thing and it went to 0, and when it goes to 0, the file closes, you don't really know anymore when the file closed. Or maybe the person who originally wrote the program did, and now you're coming along looking at it and you're like, I have no idea what's going on because this is not explicit anywhere, right? Even if that was you who wrote it like 3 months ago. So being explicit about things that are important is good for software quality, and hiding those things is bad for software quality.
Really?
Okay, so I could actually go on for a long time just
like
listing more and more of these
versus
things
RAII?
that are supposedly common knowledge
I don't
about how to
know.
program well that I think are completely wrong. but I'll just stop listing them because we have a lack of time, and I'll just say, well, when somebody sits down to design a programming language, they're doing that because they want to help you, right? They want to, well, I mean, sometimes. But giving the benefit of the doubt, right? They want to help you. They want to make a thing that helps you program in the good way, the way that's going to be productive. And the problem is that they have all these wrong ideas about what that good way to program is, right? And so if you have an idea that's different from that about how to program, you can't actually use the languages designed by these people, actually not most of them, because you'll end up fighting the language all the time, because the language is built to support a certain type of programming that you don't necessarily want to do. And that's actually why we still use C++ today, because C++ actually lets you, it doesn't put so much of a runtime in the way that it doesn't prevent you from doing very specific low-level things when you decide that you need to do them. Of course, the language is still evolving over time, and it's getting crazier and crazier, but at this point, it's still kind of okay.
Oh, that's the whole video. It kind of cuts off in the middle. I guess like if you want to watch the whole thing, it might be here, right? But I guess the point was that C++ is bad. It's interesting. I mean, C++ is bad still, right? Okay, let me see. I got 2 minutes, so we'll just turn the music back on. An old timer who studies Object-C told me RC is a whole lot slower than manual memory management. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. When you're in control, you can fit memory management to your program, right? I believe that, but I'm not actually sure about the no RAII means more correct programs. That was a crazy statement. Like, I'm not super sold on that. That's something I hadn't thought about, because I always forget like defer, right? And if I don't have RAII, like, wouldn't I forget to do it? Like, is that super important to make that explicit? I don't know. Oh, yeah. I was thinking like Rust, right? I hate deferring. That's what I'm like. I don't see how defer is like makes your programs more correct. Like if you forget one, at least if it's compile time checked, maybe defer is whack. Yeah, like defer. Let me tell you, Rust didn't really exist in 2008. No, it was 2018. It was 2018. C++ constructs. Oh, C++ constructors. Oh, constructors. I forgot C++ OP. Dude, friend. The friend keyword. A miracle is here. Suyash. Oh no, I'm leaving though. Oh shoot, it's 11:30. All right, I can't raid. I gotta go to my meeting. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow.